Good afternoon, and we're back at the Walter Gerlach Showgrounds, and it is a lamb day. We are going to be picking up with the Market Lamb Show here just in a few minutes. Earlier today, we actually had the poultry show, and yesterday the show kicked off.
Show barns, first call, first class lightweights, commercial lambs.
And
lightweight commercial lambs, class 1.
Yesterday, the show opened, the 48th annual Walter Gerlach Show opened, and it opened
Good
at...
afternoon, everyone. We'd like to thank you for practicing your social distancing for us. We're trying to comply with all the rules and regulations around here. This is our 48th annual Walter Gerlach Livestock Show. We've got it a little spread out this year so we can all enjoy it a little bit more. We're not quite as rushed as we normally are. So sit back, enjoy the show, and we'll make some more introductions here shortly.
And as you just heard, this year has definitely been different. And one of the differences is Ag Mechanics got to kick the show off. It normally is about midway through the show, but not this year. It actually got the show started, and that happened at O'Connor High School yesterday. But more importantly, I have a special guest with me this afternoon, and it is Joesph.
Yes, sir.
And he is a homeschool student and a junior. And so, Joesph, how long have you been showing lambs?
I've been showing lambs for, I want to say 4 years now.
Okay.
And I did goats 2 years before that.
So you left the dark side and came over to the bright side?
Yes,
Is that,
sir.
Okay.
Absolutely.
First call for lightweight commercial lambs. First call, lightweight commercial lambs.
And so, Joesph,
Line them up, the west gate and the east gate.
I've got to ask, I know I'm going to get in trouble for asking this question, and you don't have to answer if you don't want to, but which is smarter, a sheep or a goat?
Oof, that's a tough one.
It is, isn't it? I mean, they're both about equal, right?
I would say, honestly, goats are smarter, but lambs are definitely better.
I'll go with that. Okay, and definitely lambs are probably a little easier to gentle down and get ready for the ring than a goat. Goat seems to be a little bit more stubborn. So now, why did you choose to become a member of 4-H?
It was an activity that kept me busy, keep me out of trouble, and I had no idea how massive it would be when I began. I mean, it's a big program, a lot of different opportunities involved.
So did you have parents or relatives that had actually been involved with animals before, or...?
Honestly, no. My brother, we got into 4-H after we had done Boy Scouts for years, and my older brother started before me, and he did chickens, and that was right around his senior year, so I decided to join as well, and then we did goats, and eventually did lambs after that.
So you say you were in Boy Scouts.
Yes, sir.
Are you still in Boy Scouts?
No, sir.
Okay, so were you through the Webelos and Boy Scouts?
I was just getting into Boy Scouts when I went over to 4-H.
I'm a former director, currently lifetime director. I'll come back and help out.
We'll be right back with Joesph as soon as they do the introductions.
This is my first year announcing this show, and I'm doing this because we had lost in our family this past year. Many of you have been here more than 1 year. You remember Bill Collins, our announcer, has been our announcer for probably 20 years or maybe a little bit longer. We miss him very much. His daughter is sitting here next to me. We'd like to ask everybody to have a moment of prayer or just a moment of silence for Bill. Thank you. Second call for lightweight commercial lambs. Second call.
So now that they finished the introductions, we're back with Joesph. And so, Joesph, you're talking about lambs. What has been the most challenging part of this project?
Probably the amount of work that is involved. I don't think people that come from livestock like we did We didn't really come from this life. We had no idea the amount of work that'd be involved to do the projects right.
Let's talk about that, because I think you're right. A lot of people don't understand when your friends are able to go out to the movies, or your friends are able to go out of town for the weekend. You can't, can you?
No, sir, I'm in a barn.
Absolutely, you're in a barn, and you're in a barn because you have lives that depend on you. And they're not like a puppy dog. I can only feed them once a day or put out an automatic feeder and let them take care of themselves. How many times do you have to feed them?
Twice a day.
Twice a day. And also, just like an athlete that develops muscle, the only way that lamb, granted genetics play a part of it, but a good portion of that muscle is developed the old-fashioned way, and that is by exercise, is it not?
Yes, sir.
So now, do you have a running pin, or do you have to, drag them yourself?
We have a track that we run.
And that helps, but you still have to be out there to make sure that they're not lazy and not going around the track. So you got to encourage them there. You also had to halter break your animal.
Yes, sir.
Explain that process for just a little bit.
Well, halter breaking, it's a whole lot easier, like we discussed with lambs, because they're less hard-headed than goats. It is a process of just getting out there, getting hands on them, and just really hard work getting them out walking to get them used to you as well as a halter.
And Joesph, I'm sure I can do this in 30 minutes, right?
Oh, no, sir. This is several weeks of getting out there and really just getting hands on the animals.
But getting halter broke is just the first step. One of the things that you have to do...
Lightweight commercial lambs. If you have a lightweight commercial lamb in first class, you need to be lined up now.
I promise you, lightweight lambs is starting in just a moment. But Joesph, one of the things too, and I'm going to talk about it as the show goes on, but you have to teach your animal to stand in the box. Can you explain the box to us?
For setting and driving, yes, sir. That is it's a process that is kind of the next step after halter breaking, and that's really, again, just getting your hands on the animals, getting them to get their feet set and being able to set them yourselves.
Ladies
and
and
then
gentlemen, we're finally here. We've been trying this for months, trying to put it all together. And it's a wonderful day today. I certainly want to thank our Lamb Superintendent, Nathan Lutz. Nathan has been with me for many, many years and been a servant out here at the show and a strong volunteer, he and his whole family. I want to thank him and his staff, all the folks that are helping with the Lamb Show today. So give Nathan a big round of applause. Appreciate all the work that he and the rest of his crew is going to do for you today.
And that was Mr. Steve Chumley.
He's already given me orders. Whenever this class is over with, we're asking the folks to leave the bleachers and let the next group come in so they can see their kids' show. We will have some seating back over here as well, behind this picket area back here. You're going to let people sit back over there. Right. We're trying to do everything we can to make things safe for all of you. And don't forget, we got an auction coming up here next Saturday that we're really excited about. If you need any information about that, my wife Melissa's here and Ernie's here, or I can help you with that. Again, thanks. Welcome back.
And that was Mr. Chumley, who was a longtime ag teacher at O'Connor High School. He's now kind of an advisor for the magnet school.
Today is Chris Wiemers. Chris was an ag teacher for 34 years, retired from Madison High School, Northeast School District in 2011. He became an ag extension agent in 2012 and is currently employed in Johnson City serving as their agent.
Okay, here we roll.
Let's give Judge Wiemers a round of applause.
But Joesph, I want to talk about, we call it a box. So basically we want to make sure that the two front feet are even and the two back feet are even, and you could basically trace a box around the legs of the animals. That box is important because that helps highlight the muscle tone and build of that animal, right?
Yes, sir.
And so then once we highlight their muscle tone, we need to show the muscle.
8 lambs in this class.
We need to show the muscle development, and that is done by, you call it driving, old people like me call it bracing. But basically that means what?
That means you're getting into that animal and you're getting that animal to push against you so that it can show that muscle and really let it ripple.
So it's just like an athlete. It's going to be flexing. So that is its moment to flex. And you're hoping that when it flex, it draws the attention of the judge because he's obviously looking for the best flex out there in the ring.
Yes, sir.
So what's been your biggest disappointment?
My biggest disappointment? Honestly, it probably would be that I didn't get into 4-H sooner.
Okay.
Coming up on the end of my career and looking back, I wish I had more time to do this.
And, of course, we just heard that they're going to be placing 8. That is 8 into the sale. Talk to me a little bit about the sale. Why is that important?
Well, the sale is really important, and we love all of our buyers here because thanks to the buyers that come out and support us each year, we're able to continue on and pay for these animals and feed. And it's expensive. It's not cheap.
Excuse me, you mean the animal wasn't $100?
Oh, no, sir.
And, of course, how many bags of feed does your animal go through in a month?
Ooh, a month? At least a few.
Absolutely, and of course that feed itself is probably $10 or more a bag, so
Yes,
it
sir.
certainly has gotten more expensive. But that's also, let's talk about, not only are you responsible for feeding the animal, exercising the animal, but if they're just like humans and they're feeling a little sick or under the weather, who takes care of that?
We do.
And so when you sit down at the end of the year and you've completed your project, you're going to have to do a record book. What does that record book do?
It really shows off and showcases everything that you've accomplished throughout the year and all of the hard work and dedication you put into your project.
But let's boil this down because, in a way, you're part of the agribusiness. So at the end of the day, at the end of the project, you get to know how much money you spent versus how much money you took in, which is a reminder the sale is very important next Saturday because that's where you get the money coming in. And then at the end of the day, you find out if you made $1 or you lost a whole lot of dollars.
Yes, sir.
Is that the best way to put it?
Yes, sir.
So if you were talking to a friend and they were
For your
talking about...
information, this show is being streamed live on the internet. If you have relatives at home that might like to watch the show, they can go online to WGLS.org, and the show is being streamed live there.
So if you had a friend that was wanting to get involved in something in high school or middle school, what would you say to them about wanting to be a part of 4-H? Why should they do it?
Just the opportunities that it allows you to do, as well as the experience it gives you.
Okay.
There are many things you learn just beyond even raising animals that you wouldn't otherwise. It's a great confidence builder. It teaches you time management, how to care for something.
So what are you showing today? Obviously a lamb.
Yes, sir.
Commercial or open?
Open.
And open means...
that it's a market lamb. It wasn't commercially bought through...
and we
Walter
need to
Gerlach.
explain that Walter Gerlach is one of the few stock shows or organizations that offer the opportunity for a student to get started on the ground level, so to speak. And they go to a ranch and they purchase a large number of commercial animals. And then the exhibitors will draw lots to come and pick their animal. Then they take it home and they raise it. So it's a very uniform type of animal to start out with. Now the open means that you find it everywhere.
Yes,
And you travel everywhere. And the price is a little bit different. So you're showing open, black or cross?
Medium wool, yes, sir.
So you're a black or a medium wool. How have you done in the past years?
I've done good over the few years. We've gone to several majors, and it's been a lot of fun, a lot of experience. I've took my first open last year, and I think I got third out of the heavyweights, and I've done commercials before that.
So what are you hoping to get here today?
Grand champion.
All right, well, we're going to be watching for you. Good luck. Thank you for taking time to visit with us.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Second call, lightweight class 2 commercial labs. Let's line them up.
And as you can see on the monitor, the show has continued, and now joining us is Mr. Bohlken. And I'm excited about this because he is actually going to be entering a new program next year. It gets off and running for sure. They've already started their enrollment now. If you are interested, and we're going to talk about this for just a second because I think a lot of people think ag immediately go to, oh, I got to have an animal. But ag is not just about animals, and you're not required to just raise an animal. But Northside is opening the Ag Magnet School. Do they have the official name for it yet?
So we are the Agricultural Science and Technology Academy.
What a mouthful. What a mouthful.
We call ourselves the Ag Science Academy.
I like that, the Ag Science Academy. And so it will be starting up next year.
Yes, sir.
And if anyone is interested, they still have time that they can... Nope.
No, sir. So maybe I can go over that real quick.
Yes, please do.
That process opened in November and closed, unfortunately, January the 18th. We had to have your application in by then. They're giving us 150 freshmen next year and 5 sophomores. So we had over 300 students send an application to us online. Next Friday, on the 29th, every family who submitted an application to our school will get a letter in email from the district. And it'll say one of two things. They'll either tell you that you've been seated, which means you're one of the 150 lucky ones, or you're on a wait list. There is no order to the wait list. It's just kind of a general session, general admission type of thing. And good luck to those 150.
So you're saying next week you're going to be a very popular person.
In one way or the other, yes, sir.
In one way or the other, I understand that. What is it like knowing that O'Connor has had a long history of the ag program? Was it intimidating thinking you were going to open up a new school?
A little bit. But now that
we will be calling championship numbers after every class. So be sure and listen for your number.
I'd say it's a good kind of pressure because, you want to continue a strong tradition. It'd be a lot different if you come into something that was broken, but this wasn't. Nothing for me to fix, just continue the great tradition, but also becoming the Ag Science Academy, we want to add on to that. And hopefully we're able to do that in the coming years.
Now, do you foresee the number of students being admitted increasing, or is it going to be a hard-fought 150?
For this year, we will stay at 150. In 2022, Northside is opening a brand new high school out by the natural cavern area, and that's supposed to relieve O'Connor a little bit. The reason why our numbers are somewhat limited is because O'Connor's such a large school and a large population, they don't want us to overflow that campus. So I think with the opening of the new high school in the coming years, that may give us an opportunity to get more students in.
Well, and it's also important to note, too, some of those students will still travel to English classes or math classes that are part of O'Connor High School.
That is correct. All their classes, along with their extracurricular activities, are done within O'Connor, so we do have to keep them in mind. We are a separate campus, but we want to work well with the O'Connor staff and students.
Well, and I stress that because the population, a school is only built to hold so many.
Yes, sir.
And so once you get to that level, that's where it is. But I mean, let's talk about O'Connor has had a lot of success on the ag side of it. I know that they've had national chapter conducting teams, they've had national judging teams, national poultry teams. So it's not a how do we invent this program, is it?
No.
It's right
Class
there.
golf for Class 2, Marshall Lambs, Langway, Class 2.
And
And everyone in Class 2, you need to be lined up now.
I'm not casting any shade on previous ag mechanic competitions, but I was really impressed with yesterday's ag mech. There were some, and I felt bad. I apologized to the parent later last night because it was a dock. To me, it looked like it was a party boat. I mean, but them to build the pontoons and to put that structure up, and everybody needs to remember that's done by high school students. And that's one of the advantages that your program offers in coming into that academy. And I'm stressing that right now because it's not just about animals.
And you would have definitely seen that if you had a chance to visit that show yesterday. What an incredible job those students did. Not the quantity that we've had in the past, but definitely the quality. From the pontoon boat that you saw to the many tables that some of the kids built, and Matthew Escobedo's tractor that won grand champion, just a phenomenal job. And to hear the story behind that, the fact that it was his grandfather's, that's what school is all about, is those type of stories.
But let's also stress, because when we visited with Mr. McFarland,
I was really impressed with the way some of these handled.
and if you're wondering why we're taking a break here, the judge is actually explaining his selections in the first class.
So this could take a while.
Young man named Blue. I love the way that land looked in the profile and everything, but it just keep green, just keep a lot of groceries. Unlike me, he missed out on all the holiday food, I guess, because he's just a little greener. But you get up here, there's a little bit more fat involved, and I just like to see some of that trimmed up and maybe show them a little bit more firm.
So
Then we get started over here on the top three. Well, this version I really like the way he looks at the profile. He may be accepted as far as length. Really comes out with a long neck, really solid up over that shoulder. He's a little bit firm with the touch, a little bit of that position over that rack. And I think he's probably a tad bit light for that one. But that's, that just. Not saying anything bad about the boat that we ran behind you. I mean, this man here is really attractive. I thought it was really fast when he first came in. Very nice. Not quite as strong as a handle, maybe not quite as wide across the line, but just a really exceptionally good individual. Third place, she had a little bit of trouble showing it. I really like the way it handles. I like the width of the line. Maybe a little rounder off its dock, but not a whole lot. Just, I think showmanship is what got her, not necessarily her fault, but somebody's. But anyway, let's give her a round of applause. You're great somebody.
Thank you, Judge Reamers. Placings in Class 1. Brady Hughes, first place. Second place, Kara Cifuentes. Third place, Catherine Cook. Fourth place, April Hernandez. Fifth place, Serena Gomez. Sixth place, Barbara Cook. Seventh place, Ainsley Bradford. Eighth place, Ryan Skaggs. Ninth place, Jackson Sokal. 10th place, Layla Sullivan. 11th, Teresa Let's give all these exhibitors a round of applause.
So we just heard the end of Class 1 and how everybody placed, but as I had mentioned earlier, Mr. McFarland, when I got to visit with him, he talked about the skills that students develop in the agricultural mechanics classes, and those skills lend themselves to the engineering field. So I think it's important that people understand it's not just about ag. I don't come to the Ag Academy expecting to get a job running a farm or getting a job to run a ranch. There are skills that are taught there that translate well across many industries.
You talk to a lot of those students, Mr. McFarland students. They're not going on to be welders. They're headed to Texas A&M to be engineering students, which is fantastic. And along with those skills that they're taught in the classroom that they need, we've also got responsibility. These students are up there every morning working on those projects. They're up there in the evening. Our barn area, our shop areas are open at 6 a.m. all the way until 8 p.m. and it's not uncommon to see those students out there. So they're being taught what they need to know in the classroom, but also things like responsibility that take them far in life.
And I know it sounds like I've been dogging a little bit on those that raise livestock, but livestock is also a key component to the Ag Academy, Agricultural Science Academy. You've noticed that those kids, too, it takes a lot of dedication.
Dedication, but the hard work that they have to do. A lot of those students are also in band, or they're in football, or they're in cheer, and that means they got to get up extra early. And it's not uncommon to see those students, at 6 a.m. there to take that animal outside and make sure that it's fed and make sure that they walk it. And then again, late at night, there they are again after their day is done. So they're putting in 12, 14-hour days, not just with the animal, but to include the animal. And it's fantastic to see that there's still young people out there that have that work ethic.
And now we've talked about work ethic. We've talked about industry. We've talked about agribusiness.
First call for Class 3.
This is a business. And
Commercial lands, first call for Class 3.
paycheck is coming next Saturday.
Following showmanship numbers.
What does that mean?
To me, that's where all the hard work pays off. This is where these students, they see a reward daily and what they get out of it. But this Saturday is so important to them because this is their scholarship time. This is where other people can tell you, hey, this is how well you did. We're very proud of you. They put that money towards them. Students are able to use that in so many ways. It's probably one of the most important things that the Walter Gerlach Livestock Show does for these kids.
And it's not just giving them money to go and go buy a car or go and buy the best clothes. A lot of these students use the money, if they're underclassmen, for the next year's project, but also for college.
Yes, sir.
And let's stress that because, as you mentioned earlier, a lot of those students have already set their sights on a college path, a college degree. Every dollar that a person puts down. And you don't have to register to be a mega buyer. They have add-on sheets where you can add on $25 if you want, but every dollar that you add on goes to that student to further their education.
Absolutely correct.
And they can do that by going to the WGLS.com website. .org, WGLS.org, and they will find either the add-on sheets or registration for buyers. But this is where they're going to give a paycheck to these students. I think they deserve more than $15 an hour, don't you?
I agree with you. And this year is so important. We're not blind to the economy. And usually where these stands are full of people, we're not able to do that this year. That'll be the same thing for the auction. We can't have as many people in the past. So those online contributions are so important this year. So I'd like to stress that to our community and to our buyers. Please get out there and do what you can.
And those online contributions begin next Thursday. They will go through next Thursday and Friday.
Yes, sir.
And then they will close down for the live auction. And then I believe they open them back up, do they not, afterwards?
I believe that's the case, yes, sir.
That's my understanding as well. So thank you for sitting down with us today. Congratulations on the new academy. I can't wait to see and hear everything that's going to come out of it. Thank you for everything you do for our kids.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Second call for Class 3, Commercial Land. Second call, Class 3, Commercial Land. We'll be placing 8 lands in Class 2 of the Commercial Land group. Final call for Class 3 Commercial Land. Final call.
Really a tough class of crossers here in the commercial sheet to start this class. There's a couple of them out here that are really, really nice. And when we get down over here on this side, I'm going to speak to them further and let them get on out of the arena. There's a few of them down here that almost made the cut, but they're just a little too back. Didn't have that firmness ahead of them. Maybe little things here and there. There's nothing really bad. But that top 6 or 8 of this class was really, really tough. Okay? Down this way, there's a few of them that are getting a little thinner. Maybe weren't quite as expressive up over their right, front behind their neck. So keep working at it. You'll get there. So I'm going to excuse y'all.
Let's give them a round of applause.
And then we get down to this top four here that I've left out here in the arena. The one that comes to the top pretty easily for me, especially when she pushes around like she just did. Just an extremely powerful ram over his rack, really pretty from the side. Measures well across his loin. He's really good on all four corners. Just a really, really good one. The lamb is second. I really like him in his profile as much as any of them ever handled. But he just kind of plays out just a little bit over that loin area, maybe that part of the body base. It's just a really good one. Really good. I'm not going to pick him apart, but he's pretty good. This one, to me, he's just a little shorter leg, doesn't fit the pattern. Maybe a little softer handle, a little bit more cover on the belly, but has one of the most expressive racks of the bunch, but not any better than anything above it. He's just a really nice man, maybe a little narrower in his loin than the ones above him, and that's what got you in the end. He's a little bit wider than you, but just a really good set of lambs. I'd like to maybe, I don't know, clean this one up a little bit, make him a little firmer, but I don't know if we all raise them all at school. You probably don't have a track that you can use right now, but really a great set of lambs. Let's give them a round of applause.
Thank you, Judge. Winners, placings in Class 2, commercial lightweight. First place, Madison Aguilera. Second place, Madison Brayton. Third place, George Reed Daniel. Fourth place, Barbara Cook. Fifth place, Christmas Helotes. Sixth place, Abigail Hudson. Seventh place, Madison Carney. Eighth place, Vicky Hughes. Ninth place, Cassidy Wolf. 10th place, Elizabeth Barnett. 11th place, Macy Daniel. Brianna Gonzalez, we need your lamb in the lineup. Brianna Gonzalez. Brianna Gonzalez, we need your lamb immediately. Class is going to close. Brianna Gonzalez, bring your lamb up immediately. Showmanship for Class 2 is number 1, Krista Fuentes. Number 5, George Reed Daniel. Number 10, Madison Aguilar. First call, medium, Class 2, commercial lambs, medium, Class 2, first call. will be placing 8 in this class. I'd also like to remind everybody to support your local concession stand. They have t-shirts for sale and plenty of food. And support your local concession stand. Second call for medium weight class 2, commercial lands, second call. will be placing 8 in this class. Last call for Class 2, medium weight commercial lambs. Last call for Class 2.
I can't decide whether I like it or I don't like it, and these lambs all come from the same breeder because so many of them have so many similarities in so many ways. Some of these lambs over here, other than having trouble with showmanship at times, they're just giving up a little bit, maybe over the rack, or maybe just a little bit in that horn. Some of them are a little fat, some of them are a little thin, but good job. They all look healthy, that's the main thing. Good job. Give them a round of applause. Then we get to these 4 out here in the front that kind of rose to the top on me. This lamb that starts the class, just very muscular, very powerful, really good rack, wide loin, handles real well, not fat, just a real firm handle lamb. The lamb I used in second, I love the way he looks in the profile. I like his up-frontedness, I like his loin width, but compared to the lamb ahead of him, probably breaks down, just gives up a little bit as far as width in that rack, and then that front part I like to blow him out just a hair, but that's just picking on me, really. Okay. Third place lamb, I like that lamb a lot. I don't like the way he breaks a little bit in his loin. I like to see his neck and his shoulder and all that tie in a little better. He's really nice rack, wide, firm handling, good sheep, good job of presenting. Young lady in the back, really a nice frontal sheep. When he gets to that last rib back, he gets a little hair out, wants to wash out, tie in a little low, but just an extremely good set of crosslands here. Give him a round of applause.
Let's give these exhibitors a round of applause. Placings in first class medium weight commercial lambs. First place, Victoria Wayman. Second place, Trinity Payne. Third place, Rianne Smart. Fourth place, Rianne Smart. Fifth place, Roger Barnett. Sixth place, Brianne Gonzalez. Seventh place, Sarah Herrera. Eighth place, Lady Camacho Maynard. Ninth place, Lady Hildebrand. 10th place, Elizabeth Purcell. First call, medium weight, class 2. First call, medium weight, class 2, commercial lands. This first class of medium weight will be placing 8 in this class. Showmanship numbers for class 1 medium weight: 41, Rianne Smart; 48, Trinity Payne; and 36, Victoria Landon. Again, I'd like to remind you that we are streaming the show live this year on the internet, and that is WGLS. It's WGLS.org. First call for Class 1 heavyweight commercial lands. First call, Class 1 heavyweight commercial lands. Second call for first class heavyweight, commercial lands. Second call. Let's line them up.
too much finish. I guess they enjoyed their holidays like I did. So they're carrying a little too much fat. The young man here, I thought he may even go all the way to the top because he really has the kind of lamb I like, but he just gets a little narrower made when you compare him to some of the lambs above him. Although the lamb that I did compare you to, a little bit wider long, a little bit more, his finish is a little bit better today. But great set of shoulders here, great kids, good lamb, not a good day. Right? Give him a round of applause. Started the class off here with a lamb, a really pretty tight-hided lamb with a really nice rack. You get in there behind him and man, his shoulders just lay in there real pretty and comes out of that neck with lots of power and just really wide and firm to the handle and all that. So great job, good job feeding that lamb. The second place lamb shows a lot of fine wool and that kind of threw me off, but I really like his profile. Really up off the ground. You can see he's a lot more elevated than the others. And I kept thinking, well, he doesn't have enough rack. But then when you get over there and look behind that shoulder, there's enough rack there to make me happy. He's got a real wide loin. Again, it's almost like a fine wool competing with the crosses because he's got a lot of fine wool influence to him, in my opinion. Third place lamb just giving up. He's just a little bit juicier. He's really nice over that back. He plays out just a tad where he ties into his hip, and that young man does a good job showing me. That's why he's in third. Fourth place, I love this sheep, but I like to see him fresher where his loin ties into his hip. He wants to dip. You know, he's a little bit more finished maybe than the one up at the top end or the 2 or 3 ahead of him. But to me, a beautiful sheep. If you can just get his back up just a hair, fill him into that loin where he ties in and does a little more attractive, although he is a very attractive sheep. So, good job, young lady. Let's give him a round of applause.
Placings for Class 2 medium weight commercial lambs. First place is Gabby Sundberg. Second place, Christina Pritchard. Third place, Cody Bannis. Fourth place, Macy Daniel. Fifth place, George Reed Daniel. Sixth place, Jalen Ainsley. Seventh place, Abigail Reyes. Eighth place, Alexa Escalera McGrath. Ninth place is Caden Cavallini. 10th place, Ella Barney. Showmanship for Class 2 medium weight is 57, Gabby Sundberg. 27, Kristen Pritchard. Will be placing 6 in this class. First call for heavyweight commercial lambs class 2. First call, heavyweight commercial lambs class 2. Second call for heavyweight class 2 commercial lands. Second call heavyweight class 2 commercial lands. Last call for heavyweight class 2 commercial lands. Last call, heavyweight class 2. On up.
We got a really nice set of sheep out here right now. Just over here on this end at the bottom, there's some good sheep in there. They just need some exercise, a little less speed. They look like meat. So need to bring those guts down a little bit, condition a little better. They would have placed higher. A couple of them get up a little bit more over that rack. Okay? Let's give them a round of applause. They executed. When I start this next class, these top 2 lands to me are very similar. I mean, I could go either way, but the thing that made me decide which way to go was the land that won the class is a little bit wider over that hip, a little bit, doesn't quite pinch in as much, as a little bit wider loin. They both have excellent racks. I mean, they're both really quality sheep with real clean fronts too. So I really appreciate both those sheep. The lamb here kind of makes me look like, I think he kind of looks like a south lamb almost. Got some cross in there somehow. But he's got a little bit more expression over his rack. He's a little bit wider and leveler over his loin edges, and he's a little bit wider hip than the lamb that I put in fourth. That's why he's where he's at. I just like to take this lamb and maybe make him a little wider over the hip, maybe a little wider here, and right here he kind of plays out compared to the lambs above him. So let's give him a round of applause. We're a great set of lambs.
Placings for Class 1 heavyweight commercial lambs. First place, Riley McGovern. Second place, Gabby Sunberg. Third place, Andrew Dixon. Fourth place, Hope Miss. Fifth place, Madison Frick. Sixth place, Alexandria Wyman. Seventh place, Grant Gonzalez. Eighth place, Anna Dixon. Showmanship for heavyweight class 156, Hope Best. 57, Gabby Sunberg. 51, Riley McGovern. Let's start bringing up your first and second place class winners of the Commercial Land Show. Start bringing up your first and second place class winners of the Commercial Land Show. We'll be placing 7 in this class. Second call for your first and second place class winners in the Commercial Land Show. Second call. Attention land exhibitors, at the conclusion of the show, those of you that are going to sell be sure you stick around and put your lamb where you're told to put it, because it will be placed somewhere. Just don't leave until you have a final disposition on your lamb.
I started doing this. I started running bicycle, turning on the halter, and just riding the bicycle around the barn, and it worked a little bit. But the problem is they get to the barn and they want to go. So I had to do it so that they jerk the barn off the barn. I was out there riding my bike, and not like
I'm going to briefly talk about these over here. There's some really nice sheep over here with a lot of quality. I just think they need more time on the track, maybe a little bit higher protein diet or something. Carrying a little too much fat for me today, but all in all, a really good set of sheep over here. So y'all can excuse, let's give them a round of applause for doing such a great job. And I could have gone any one of 3 or 4 ways here. It just depends on what really hits me at the time, and sometimes those things just hit you all of a sudden. But the land to me that excels and wins the class very easily is because he's got a really nice rack coming out of that shoulder. I'd like to clean him up just a hair as far as boldness in that front end, but all in all, just a very attractive sheep that I can live with. The second place man here, I really like him a lot. I just wish he had a little more power and didn't taper in right there over the hip. On the front of him, may slope a little bit more, but this one kind of tapers in, not near as wide. You have to stop. And then you get to the lamb in third. Of course, you don't eat much of that neck, but he's kind of a sharp neck. This doesn't have that eye peel when you get to the side. But other than that, he's got a good rack. really level up that hip wide loin. I just like to change the structure just a little bit. The laying in fourth, probably one of the narrower made, the least amount of rack of the three above him. But all in all, just a really good shoot. So let's give these kids a round of applause.
Lexington Class 2 in the heavyweight commercial land. First place, Natalie McGovern. Second place, Elizabeth Wayman. Third place, Alexandria Wayman. Fourth place, Alexandria Salazar. Fifth place, Abigail Hudson. Sixth place, Colin Swedick. Seventh place, Reagan Crick. Eighth place, Madison Aguilar. Ninth place, Catherine Phillips. Showmanship for Class 2 heavyweight commercial lands. Abigail Hudson, number 23. Number 37, Alexandria Wayman. Number 52, Natalie McGovern. Number 38, Elizabeth Wayman. 43, Alexandria Salazar. Entering the ring now, first and second place class winners competing for the championship round of the commercial class.
I told them over here, I was sitting here enjoying this, man. There's some beautiful crossbred ewe lambs out here today. I mean, I could probably find 6 people in here qualified to judge that would put it any one of the ways that, it could go 6 different ways. There's some really nice ones. Start off with a lightweight, he's really nice. You go down to that second class, really, really super nice, man. There's some things I'd like to change about him in the lightweight, but not a lot. The third class, another really pretty stylish, attractive lamb from the side. He's my kind of sheep. Then you get the next 3, they are too, and they're just carrying their own weight. They all have a really nice rack. They all finish thread well, they handle good. They lay in there real smooth in their shoulders. You really can't criticize them a whole lot. But there's 2 lambs out here that probably hit me the hardest, and that's going to be this young lady here is going to be your champion. There's a lot of sheep there, and he just really puts it all together real well. But then you get down into the reserve champion. There's 2 or 3 of them out here I like a lot, But this young lady right here is going to be the reserve, and we'll just move this thing on.
Grand champion of the commercial lamb is Natalie McGovern. Reserve champion will be Victoria Wenham. First call, lightweight, open lamb show. Lightweight, medium wool, open lambs.
Everybody was just looking at me like, it was a period of the fuck on, no, like,
Second call for live weight open lands. Second call, live weight open lands. Bring them on up. Last call. Bring them in.
Okay, showmanship seniors. Number 5, George Reed Daniel. Number 10, Madison Aguilar. Number 13, Jackson Succo. Number 23, Abigail Hudson. Number 27, Kristen Pritchard. Number 36, Victoria Wyman. 37, Alexandria Wyman. 38, Elizabeth Wyman. Number 40, Benny Hughes. 41, Brad Smart. 43, Alexandria Salazar. 48, Trinity Payne. 52, Natalie McGovern. 57, Gabby Sundberg. And all of the juniors, any junior wanting to come in for showmanship is invited back. All the juniors are invited back. Again, we're placing 4 in this class. Second call for heavyweight open man. Second call. Bring them on up. Last call, heavyweight lambs open place.
All right, I'm going home.
Really nice set of lightweight blocks here in this opening class. There's some give and take on a lot of them. I probably used the smallest lamb in the class, maybe not the lightest, but one of the shortest as far as height. But to me, that lamb puts it all together perfect. He's really nice for his size, his width over the loin, his hip is good, his bicep, his neck ties in real well with the shoulder, which is very massive and square. And he's real clean in that shoulder. It just lays in there real pretty. So just a really attractive lamb, that does a great job showing. Second place, I kind of had to jump back and forth with you two because I like both of those lambs are similar, but he's just a lot firmer. And today he's just a little bit more expressive there at his top. Maybe for his size he's a little wider and those loin edges are up a little bit more. But really, a really nice sheep. Then you get to the third place lamb. Should have it set up here. I really like this sheep a lot, but when you get over the top of him, he's just kind of blown up a little bit, right in there where his shoulder blades ties into his shoulders, up over his right there. Just a little bit too bold and bulky for me. I'd like to see him a little wider and fresher, but all in all, a really good sheep. And then this lamb, kind of my kind of sheep, but he needs a little more feel in him. He's a little hollow today, but I like a long profile. He's got a really square rack in him, really nice and long sided, but just not carrying enough meat to compete with the lambs above him. Good job.
Lansing took the lightweight open lamb show. First place, Ray Chavez. Second place, Trinity Payne. Third place, Riley Montgomery. Fourth place, Isis Martinez. Fifth place, Elizabeth Purcell. Sixth place, Haley Woodbury. Seventh place, Elizabeth Barnett. Eighth place, Alexa Rivera. Ninth place, Elizabeth White. We'll be placing 4 in this class. Want to remind all exhibitors, do not leave until you move your lamb. We're moving lambs at the conclusion of the showmanship show. Remind the exhibitors that they have their pictures taken at the blue curtain. Have your picture taken if you desire after the show, but before you load your animal into the pen. attention lamb exhibitors, attention lamb exhibitors. If you know that you have an animal you're going to take home, or an animal that you're going to wait for another species, once again, you have an animal you're going to take home, or an animal you're going to wait for another species, please see Mr. Strickland right behind the announcer stand here in the alleyway. I need to check those animals and make sure what's going to happen to them before you take them off property. You must check out with me before you take your animals off property. If you're going to wait for another species, we're going to put your animals in certain pens, and I'll tell you where. You need to come talk to me about that, please. Let's bring up the first and second class, class 1 lightweight open lambs.
Well, this is a little bit of trying to put my test to me here a little bit, but you know, really good set of lambs all the way through as we get over here on this side. You know, there's a little give and take. You know, there's a little bit of boldness in the shoulders and a little bit more waist in the front end on this one. But a real super wide, long, nice individual. And then you get down here, some of them are just a little juicier. This one's a little softer hand, maybe a little shorter couple than some of the lambs above him. This man I have right here, again, he's just not, doesn't have that expression over his rack. like some of the lambs above him did. And then again, these are just a little more cover on them than what I really like. Good job. Let's let them go ahead and get on that and give them a round of applause.
Bring up the Grand and Reserve Grand Commercial Land. Grand and Reserve Commercial Land, bring them up. Okay, land exhibitors, listen up. If you have a lamb that you're going to floor, sell, take home, weigh, all of those animals have to be checked out through me. Once the show is over, in the upper alley up there, we will be taking all of the animals that are being floored or going to the sale, and you'll check them in, we'll put them into a pen. If it's a weight, they'll be checked into another pen up there. Okay, so please make sure you do that. Do not leave. You must be here to load your animal into those pins for us so we can check them out and we know exactly which animals are where.
Really a nice set of sheep out here this drive for your medium class or whatever you want to ram class. I've talked about each one a little bit in the classes. I really like the eye feel, I like the balance, I like a lot of things about this little lightweight sheep. You know, just really puts it all together in a really neat, complete package. And then I go over here to the head weight, and again, another man that just really, to me, she's going to fail me now. She's having set up all three. But another lamb that just really square hip, really square off that dock, massive down at top. Just a really eye-appealing, really a long-sided compared to the lamb above it. But, you know, just a really nice set of sheep out here. The second place lambs, you know, maybe giving up a little bit, I think, over rack on the heavyweight. And then this one over here is just not as firm to the cut as in the first place. But with all that being said, I'm just going to go out and pick your champion in reserve and we can move on. Oh, and then you're going to stay in here, you're going to show us the commercial.
grand champion is Victoria Lennon. Grand champion of the Open Land Show is Victoria Lennon. Reserve champion is Joesph Helotes.
I'd like to say first, I really think it's cool what they have here in this commercial land show, because it gives a lot of kids a chance to really get in there without having to go out and spend a fortune to buy one. But I tell you what, I've seen some lines in this commercial show today that really excelled, and they really look good. But whenever I go out here and I start looking at these lambs, it's pretty much a given that I'm going to have to use a medium goal right here. The young lady is your brand.
Grand champion overall goes to Victoria Lennon. Reserve champion goes to Joesph Helotes.
Yeah, one second. I'm gonna.
Okay. Any junior showman that would like to show in the showmanship contest, you're invited into the ring. Line up, get ready to come in. Junior showman. following seniors have been chosen for showmanship. Get your animals ready. Ransom Chavez, Joseph Edlin, Jonathan Oliveras, Isaiah Martinez, Trinity Payne, Riley McGovern, Abigail Hudson, Alexandria Salazar, Elizabeth Wannon, Alexandria Wannon, Natalie McGovern, Bess Hope, Gabby Sundberg, Riley McGovern, Christian Pritchard, Ryan Smart, Trinity Payne, Krista Cifuentes, Daniel George Reed, Madison Aguilar, Jackson Secco, Kara Cifuentes, and Brady Hughes. Last call for junior showman. If you want to be in the junior showman contest, it's the last call. Bring your animal.
Have two. That's all it takes to have a show, right?
Exhibitors, let me have your attention. If you're not showing in showmanship and you're going to sell your animal and you're waiting for later for another breed, then you need to meet Mr. Chicken up on the hill up there in the land bar.
That means a lot. These showers anyway. And mom and dad.
I can hold these kids out here and do this for another hour, but I think they're worn out. I think the lambs are worn out. I know some of us are worn out. So I'm going to go ahead and pick your champion. As a matter of fact, it'd be pretty easy to do, but I'm going to tell you some of the things I like. I like a kid that seems comfortable in the ring. I like a kid that can move his animal around. The first key to showing sheep is getting from point A to point B without any struggles, and some of them have that problem. And then whenever a judge starts looking at your sheep, you pay attention to that judge, and you're set up, walking around and look at the front of it. It's not a fire drill to get to the other side. Until the judge takes his eyes off of that front end, you just stay put. It doesn't matter if he goes 2 lanes down, if you're still looking at yours, you stay put. When he takes his eyes off, then you move. So with that being said, there's a couple of them in here that to me really did an outstanding job. There's other things that I don't like. I don't like it when I hear people hitting their lambs, beating on them and slapping them around, and the outside world doesn't like to hear that either when you're at these shows. So you know, there's a lot of give and take. All of these young people are good showmen. I'd love to have any one of them in a pen with my animals on. I'd be like welcome, okay? But there's one individual that seems to be comfortable, and he's not fighting it, and he's always doing the right things at the right time, and that's going to be this young man right here. I'm going to follow this with this young man in second. This young man will be third. Point A to point B is going to be fourth. All right? Good job. A real good job. Let's give him another round of applause for that. Junior showman is Grant Gonzalez.
Will be interrupted.
Say last call.
Last call for senior showmanship. Line up, fixing to bring you in. Last call, senior showmanship.
So the 2021 Walter Gerlach Livestock Show on the Market Lamb division is about to wind down. Last category up is going to be senior showmanship, and what a great way to end the evening. I am visiting with Elizabeth Barnett, and she is a senior from O'Connor. Elizabeth, how long have you been involved in the FFA program?
This is my 4th year.
4th year? Were you in 4-H before you joined FFA or not?
No, I've only been an FFA member.
So what made you choose to become an FFA member?
Well, firstly because my sisters participated in it, so I kind of followed in their footsteps, but also because I had heard so much about the FFA program and all the leadership opportunities and how it could really set you up for success in the rest of your life.
So when we talk about leadership opportunities, were you part of the chapter conducting team?
Yes, I was part of the chapter conducting team for 3 years. It was my biggest team.
And O'Connor has a very strong reputation with the chapter conducting team. Tell me a little bit about it.
So I actually, in my 3rd year of chapter conducting, was able to go to the nationals competition, and we got 2nd in the nation. So that was probably one of my best experiences in FFA. It was very exciting. You learn a lot about public speaking and leadership, just learning all the parliamentary law and stuff like that.
Well, I was going to say, so everybody at home that might not be an FFA member, for them to understand, chapter conducting means that you're using Robert's Rules of Order, and you will conduct a meeting from start to finish.
Yes.
And you have to conduct it according to the rules of Robert's Rules of Order, correct?
Yes.
And what office position did you hold in the team?
I held different positions each year. My first year, I was president, so I was presiding. Then after that, I was treasurer.
So you've had leadership experience with that, and congratulations. 2nd in the nation is not a small feat there. That's something very big. Where was that national?
Indianapolis, Indiana.
Did you like it?
Oh, it was very exciting. It was a wonderful experience.
What was the most exciting part of Indianapolis that you liked?
I didn't get to see Indianapolis much because we were practicing for our competition, but probably going on the final stage in that big arena was incredible.
Were you afraid about falling on the stage or falling off the stage? I mean, all those eyes on you.
Luckily, they had us pretty far away from the edge of the stage,
so you didn't have to worry about that. You made it without a problem.
I was in heels, though, so I was a little afraid of that.
Oh, I've never worn heels, but I'm sure that that's
probably for the best.
Right. It'd be very difficult. So what animals do you show?
Mostly lambs. I've shown goats before, but
So you were part of the dark side, and then you moved over to the light side, right?
Goats are stubborn. I had to move to lambs.
You know, I'm hearing that's a recurring theme. It seems those are just stubborn creatures. So I'm already sensing that lambs were a little easier to halter break and work with than a goat.
They're stubborn too, but not as much as goats.
So what type of lamb did you show?
I was in the open and the commercial division.
Okay. So was it an open black, or did you have a crossbred? Or
He was a medium wool, so he was black face.
So what's been the biggest challenge?
There's been
We'd
so
like
many.
to thank Chris Ringers for coming down and spending time with us at our show. It's been a pleasure having him here. Let's give him a round of applause.
So my open lamb actually got sick twice this year. We never got the actual sickness, and then my other animal had an injury with her ear tag, and we had to take her to the vet to fix that. So I've had the most trouble this year with my animals.
So let's talk about that, because that's something that I think a lot of people don't understand, that exhibitors, you're responsible for that animal. So if it gets sick, you have to figure out how to take care of it or get a vet, but it's your responsibility, isn't it? And I'm assuming that you have to feed this animal at least once a day or once a week.
We feed them twice a day, yes.
Twice a day. And do you keep them at home, or do you keep them at the school barn?
I raise on campus.
You raise them on campus. And I'm assuming you probably exercise this animal at least 10 minutes a week, right?
Daily. When
Daily?
it's closer to show, yes.
And what does that consist of?
Typically, we'll run some laps, maybe go up and down a hill, and then just practice our showmanship as well.
And what was the first thing that you did to get these lambs prepared for show?
When I first received the animals? The first thing that we do is probably just get the animals used to us and being around us, so just hanging out in the pen and being there, making them comfortable with us.
So what's it like hanging out with a sheep?
They all have their own personalities, to be honest. Some of them are really needy and always want to be next to you, and then others are terrified of you and don't want to get next to you. And
So in a poker game, do you or the sheep win?
I'd hope I would win, because
I would too. I mean, if they run the bluff on you, it's kind of a real difficult thing. If you were speaking to 8th graders that are getting ready to decide for classes and everything next year, what would be the reason that they want to join FFA?
because of how it will prepare you for college, for your career. I can't think of another program that would give you as many career opportunities to learn public speaking and leadership, and also the scholarship opportunities to further your education. It's amazing for all those reasons.
Well, and we talk about career. We talk about after high school. Definitely something that you're probably thinking about. But one of the ways that you get that career and payday, and let's talk about why that's important. I'm assuming that the lambs cost a couple of dollars.
Yes.
And then you had feed, you had vet bills. What other expenses did you have?
I mean, all of your supplies. Sometimes if you have to haul on your own, you have to pay for a trailer, or like my dad had to just install a hitch on his truck so that we could haul our animals. And all the other just miscellaneous expenses, the things you buy to prep for show and stuff like that.
So there's a lot of investment on your part. And you have one payday. And that payday is coming up next Saturday. Why is that important?
Because that's firstly an opportunity for you to see your hard work and see how it pays off. But also because you learn a little bit about what real life is like. You invest some money, and sometimes you'll earn back what you invested, sometimes you'll lose money. So it's very important that day to realize that it's a real life lesson.
So it's important that the community gets behind all of the FFA and 4-H members. And the way that they can do that is by either adding on auction prices, or they can register to be a buyer. And they can find all of that information at WGLS.org. They can go there. Anything you wanted to say to a potential buyer?
I guess I would like to say that these kids put in a lot of work, and they spend hours with their animals. So to be able to receive that scholarship money to go towards their education really means the world to them. This is my 4th year, and every single time that I've gotten that check, it meant the world to me because I knew what it was going to. I knew it was going to my college education.
1 p.m. the steer show begins.
Wonderful. Well, I wish you the best of luck as it goes forward. Are you done with the show now, or?
Yeah, the show's over for me. We're taking.
It'll be 60 to 97 pounds.
Now, will you be showing in San
An
Antonio?
hour after the conclusion of the weigh-in,
No, I
the
don't
coach show
think
will
that I'll be
start. Round one will
showing. I'm still
begin.
deciding if I want to take him or not.
Well, we wish you the best of luck, and thank you for spending time with us.
Remember, we do have to
Good luck.
social distance, so please give, if you don't have an exhibitor showing at the time, please give the parents that do have exhibitors showing prior to proceed. And you can also watch it online at WGLS.org. Exhibitors, don't forget to check your lambs out with Mr. Strickland before you leave the barns tonight. Make sure your lamb is secure.
One other item, the exhibitors, before you leave, say that we need help to move these pins out of the arena. So we need about 10 or 12 kids to, exhibitors, stick around and help us move the pins.
We got an excellent group of showmen here, and I made a point, especially to make sure that I said it out loud and everybody hear it. This isn't a fire drill, you know. And then I get out here, and some of the first ones I pulled were the ones that they just moved too quick. I was still looking at the front end of their lane, and they went right across in front of me. So that helped me get down to numbers where I wanted to get to. And then I asked the young people over here to bring their names out. And I brought these kids across one at a time. And I asked them, well, judge those 2 sheep for me. And what is it about those sheep that you would change? What is it that you like or don't like? What is the main thing that you would like to see? And critique them, just like you're the judge. And there was 2 people, actually the first one said, I'm going to make you do this over a microphone. She said, bring it on. So I thought that was pretty cute. And then I asked the last one, and she said, sure, let's go. So now I wish I had done that, so y'all could have heard exactly what they said. But there were 2 individuals out here. All of these kids, their lambs were handling awesome. All the way down. I couldn't even find one that I would have eliminated due to the handle. Maybe some of the feet weren't right or something. And I'm not going to go ahead and do a bunch of other little tricks or whatever people want to call it to try to decide who I'm going to use. But there's one person that, when they critique these lambs, they went a little bit further than everybody else did. And that's going to be the young lady right up here with Bohlken. And I guess I need to cross the other 4. They're all good. Well, she's your winner, and these kids all did a great job. Let's give them a big round of applause. Really a great show here today, and I really appreciate the opportunity to show up in this crazy COVID world that we're living in, and maybe get back to some sense of normalcy here.
Your champion is Riley McGovern. We'd like to thank once again Chris Greenleaf, retired ag teacher from Madison High School, currently an extension agent in Johnson City, for coming and spending time with us at our show. Chris, good to see you again. Thanks a lot for coming.